Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to be talking about liquidity. Essentially, what liquidity is in the crypto market is how easily you can pull your asset and exchange it for, let's say, Ethereum, USDC, USDT, and so on. So in the traditional market, you would think of liquidity as you have a buyer and then you have a seller. So when you go into, let's say you want to buy a stock, right? The way these companies are evaluated is from how much revenue they bring in. And then when they release a stock, then there have to be a buyer and a seller. So let's say someone wants to sell their stock for $100 and the seller needs to wait for a buyer, so then it becomes liquid. So if you're in a market where there's a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers, that's really good for you because you can exit and enter and exit very easily. So in the crypto market, liquidity is a little bit different. So you have centralized exchanges and then you have something called a decentralized exchange. So a centralized exchange would be like Binance, Coinbase, all of those major exchanges. Here in Canada, a really good one is crypto.com and also ShakePay. ShakePay is a pretty good one as well. And basically, when you deposit money into your wallet, the exchange itself, then the exchange is what provides liquidity. So there's two ways. In the crypto space, you have something called a market maker. So mostly in the centralized exchanges, you would see market makers. So what a market maker is, it's basically you have these individuals buying and selling no matter what. No matter what the price of the asset is, the market maker will provide liquidity for those people to enter and exit. When it comes to a decentralized exchange, on the other hand, it's a little tricky. So you have something called a liquidity pool. So a liquidity pool is where someone would take a pair, for example, the Ethereum token, and then let's say X token. Let's say it's called X token. And then they would create a liquidity pool where people can provide their tokens into a pool. So these decentralized exchanges can pull liquidity. These decentralized exchanges, it's a little bit different. So they have something called a market maker, an automated market maker. So it's a line of code that essentially does the process automatically, versus on a centralized exchanges, you have somebody kind of buying and selling regardless of the price. So the automated market maker is a formula that is calculated and people can take and buy and take from the liquidity pool, essentially. So I always had the question, okay, so if cryptocurrency is not backed by anything, right? Like, for example, in the traditional finance, a company is evaluated by how much revenue they bring in, and then when they go public, they release some stock, and then whatever their evaluation is, that's what the stock is. So it got me thinking, what gives the value of a cryptocurrency? So it's pretty simple. So when you're creating, let's say, for example, an Ethereum token, you have to peg your token to one Ethereum, essentially. That's how you get that price. So let me try to explain that a little bit more. So think about it like this. Let's say one of your token is worth one Ethereum in the liquidity pool. That means one of your token is equal to one Ethereum. So in the smart contract, when you put that all in, it's going to ask you how many tokens will be paired to one ETH. So let's say I say two of my tokens is worth one Ethereum, then whatever the price of Ethereum, half of that will be worth one of my tokens. So I found that very interesting how these cryptocurrencies are evaluated, essentially. And a big factor of what these tokens are evaluated at is how much liquidity is in the initial ICO. So the initial coin offering, that's what that stands for. So if you provide enough liquidity for people to enter and exit, and when more and more people put more money into the token, the value of the price increases to a crazy amount.
Securing the future of food. To learn more, visit us at riper.io.